concerned that the soaring cost of domestic air travel have created a barrier preventing many from returning to their ancestral homes, where shared laughter and family connections are meant to thrive and improve our self-worth. Mr. Speaker, this motion is an urgent call to airline operators. Aware that the challenges faced by airline operators, ranging from high jet A1 fuel prices to excessive currency fluctuations, I implore this Honourable House to consider the broader implications of their pricing strategies. Concerned that the insatiable pursuit of profit should not come at the expense of life, security, and cultural bonds that define us as Nigerians. Mr. Speaker, cognizant that by temporarily reducing fares during this critical period, it will demonstrate a commitment to social responsibility and national solidarity. Such an act will reaffirm to all Nigerians that the journey home is a fundamental right accessible to every Nigerian regardless of financial status. The unprecedented rise in air travel costs is not mere anomaly in the market. It poses a direct threat to security, to life, to tradition that unite our society during this cherished festive moment. Further urge the government to show decisiveness as they did last year with road transporters in providing support. It is imperative, Mr. Speaker, that similar assistance be extended to the aviation sector, which plays a critical role in both family reunification and national connectivity. The House resolves to establish a transparent assessment mechanism to create a system to determine the true minimum necessary operational cost for airlines throughout the Christmas season. 2, to provide targeted subsidy grants or palliative subsidies that bridge the gap between sustainable operational cost and the accessible fare ceiling established for the public. 3, to collaborate with the CBN to work closely to prioritize the allocation of foreign exchange at concessionary rates for airline operators. 4, to refer this motion to the House Committee on Aviation to interface with airline operators and the executive branch and report back to the House within 7 days for further legislative action.
2 critical items that can exacerbate the increase of the price of any commodity vis-a-vis that of the airlines is number 1, the operating cost of the airline, which primarily has to do with the fuel that the airplane uses. And for the past 1 year, even 2 years, Mr. Speaker, there is stability in the prices of this particular commodity, which is the up to 80% requirement in the operation of our airlines. What the airlines operators in Nigeria have done in the past 12 hours is completely uncalled for.
There is a particular issue the operators are talking about that I want to include in the prayers. They talk about various levies. They even said about 70% of what constitutes airfare is as a result of levies by the aviation or in the aviation industry. So I want to add, Mr. Speaker, sir, if the investigation could include what are those levies and why they constitute about 70% of airfare.
Our total radar coverage in Nigeria does not completely operate fully 100%. And because of the security threats that we have, airlines have to be diverted to stay on the air for a very long time. And that consumes fuel for them.
The airliners, operators are in business. Therefore, they have to attain the cost of their production, or that is the cost of the extras. If they could not attain that, they can never be in business. The cost of fuel, the cost of staffing, the cost of landing, so even the cost of maintenance is increasing. And we should not forget the value of the naira vis-a-vis the value of the dollar. What we do is to make conditions favorable for these airliners to operate fully rather than to say they put on the bills on the high side.
The question is, why is it always in a festive period? January to March, the airfare Nigerians are paying right now was not what was paid January to June. Mr. Speaker, this is clear exploitation.
Severally, we raised motions that our roads be repaired, because I believe that if our roads are fixed very well, fewer people would fly. So we should urge the Ministry of Works to fix the roads so that our travelers will have an alternative. If the roads are fixed and are very well motorable, I'm sure fewer people will fly, then the airlines will not be taking advantage of travelers.
My own opinion is that we should be very circumspect on this matter. We cannot jump into regulating air cost prices because there are variables that I believe are technical, and we need a greater in-depth analysis before we can take such a decision.
The pressure on the airline, particularly this period, is massive. And we do not have enough airlines to fly passengers across the country. One question we should also be asking ourselves, what are we doing as a government? Where is our Nigerian Airways? What has happened to the government airline?
It's going to be very difficult to push this motion to fruition. Why? To give subsidy or to give palliative for airfare. Where do we start? When there is high MRO, that's maintenance cost abroad for these airlines. We don't have hangars that maintains aircraft in this country. And then there is the issue of high airport and navigation charges in this country. If you look at the airfare at the end of your ticket when you book, you will see the diagnosis, or you will see the breakdown how the airfare is charged, and you will see how much money goes to the airline operator.
The federal government always tell the citizens either to go and board railway lines for free. Do we have railway line from Lagos to Abuja? No. So now that we have airlines, why don't we now try and see how we can support, assist them to bring down whatever, to subsidize whatever.
For the first time in 20 years, this administration, through national reform, has made it possible for international dry leaser to accept to come to Nigeria for the first time. It means that they are getting aircrafts now 1/3 of what the usual price was.
Here we are talking about subsidizing. That prayers should be expunged, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
You have already highlighted what should be done. We need to sit down and do proper regulation. The way it will favor both the Nigerian people and the so-called business people, according to my colleagues.
If the government believes that it needs to come in to step in, it should provide some form of succor. But that is always missing in a deregulated market.